Hey everyone, welcome to the AI Revenue Summit and welcome to this session. Thanks for joining. Good morning. I'm Palash. I am the CEO and co-founder at Goalcast, and I'm going to talk about three keys to going all in on building a video-first marketing strategy and why it's relevant and urgent and how do you do it today. Over the next 20 minutes, I'm going to talk about why video? Why is it important to do it now? Then I'm going to talk about the tactics that we have employed and that a lot of other great brands have employed to create a really great digital event strategy. And then I'm going to talk about how do you use this strategy to power a great content engine. First, we are going to quickly touch upon why it's relevant, right? Why what I'm talking is important. Number one reason is that SaaS is a deep red ocean, right? We all are from SaaS, I'm assuming, or some B2B tech industry. And this is what the landscape of MarTech looks like, right? Where we are playing, and this was from the last year, but I'm sure it looks the same for your industry as well. And if we do it for this year, it won't even fit this page. It's super crowded, right? SaaS is hitting maturity, and this is outbound. Outbound was underpinning the predictable revenue motion that we all have grown up in the last decade. And this is a snippet from our own outbound from the last 2 years. So you see that the reply rate is super low. It's very hard to engage customers who are already facing email fatigue. We also tried a lot of inbound and blogs, and they kind of work, but they don't really work. And what we realize is that outbound and the blog stuff, it's great for sniping demand, for capturing demand that's already there, but it's not great for creating demand, which is what is needed to grow fast in this kind of market. The final thing we realize is that text-only content is not that engaging. We are very active on LinkedIn, and we clearly saw that whatever posted with video always gets a higher engagement because that is what you and I as consumers expect. We are always on video, free social media, OTTs now. That's what we expect from the brands we want to work with, we want to engage with. So I'm going to dive into what are key digital event strategies that B2B marketers can employ to really make a difference. And there are two key motions that we have learned and we have perfected over time. Number one is event series. So think of an event series as a live podcast that is done with live audience every week, 2 weeks, month on a repeatable cadence. And the key here is to target it to a persona. For instance, we have three personas. There is the doer, which is the event marketer, the content marketer, and there's the VP of demand gen or VP of customer engagements, and then there's the CMO. And over time, we have created event series for all three of them. We talk about topics that are relevant to them. We don't talk about our product. It's really thought leadership that can engage people. And the key is consistency. We do it every week, 2 weeks, and you have to do it for a long period of time to create that repeatable drumbeat of engagements. The way it starts is it will be getting traction, picking up. And then at the peak, you'll see a lot of engagement. So we saw almost 200 marketers attend our event series at the peak, and that's great engagement. Eventually it tapers off, and then you move on to a new series that will create more excitement. The second one is what we call summits and mini series that are used to deliver a lightning strike. If you as a marketer or a CEO want focus on a particular thing, that could be a product launch, a brand revamp. It could be a big piece of content that you're launching. You do a summit or a mini series. A good example of that is what we did last year. We launched an AI product, just like all of us here, that was for video content repurposing. So we said, okay, let's do a mini series on video content repurposing. So we created 4 1-hour sessions over a week and invited our target persona. We did two key things that worked really well. Number one is for the title of the events, we used gong keywords. Whatever keywords our prospects, our customers use for describing the problem that we are talking about, we use them. We saw that that genuinely changes the engagement, how people perceive what they're going to expect in the event. The second is we talked about tactics. We didn't talk thought leadership. We even talk about competitor products, whatever is needed to get things done for the marketers now. And both of them created a great lightning strike moment for us. We had almost 1,200 marketers register for the series. We had almost 500 of them attending and a lot of great engagement, as you see here, that we were able to drive from this mini series. Ultimately, over time, digital events have become very key pipeline drivers for us. This is our own data, and you can see that we drive almost 250,000 in pipeline just from digital events. It's a very high ROI medium if done well. And it's not just us doing it. There are many great brands also utilizing this kind of motion. Swift, 6sense, Zuora, I'm sure all of you are familiar with them. So check them out to get a sense of what it is. And ultimately, live engagement is sales goals. If you do all of this live, you get a lot of engagement in terms of Q&A, chat, poll responses, and all of the other things that people are doing in the events. This can be used by sales to personalize their outreach. It can be used by marketing to personalize their outreach. It can even be used by our product team, customer success team to get insights about the customers. And you don't get this if you do podcasts. So that is why we always prefer doing this live. The second part of the strategy and very key is creating a content engine. A digital event strategy does not really work if you do not couple it with a content engine. You have to view it as part of a content strategy. There are three key tactics that we use drive the content strategy after the events. The number one is YouTube. We take one big piece of content, we cut it up in multiple small short clips and post them on YouTube on a repeatable basis. YouTube algorithm rewards posting consistently on a certain topic, and we're able to achieve without a lot of effort using AI. The second part is we create blog posts out of every session that we do, and those blog posts are multimodal. They have both text and video, and Google SEO algorithm rewards videos because it leads to higher engagement and your page will be ranked higher. And if there's an actual human reading your blog, they'll obviously appreciate those videos there versus just a blob of text. The third is we use this content to create a lot of LinkedIn posts with videos for different types of people. We create one for ourselves, the founders, for the marketing team, for the rest of the company. They post it without needing effort from their side, which creates that constant drumbeat of engagement we need. One of the subparts of this strategy that has worked really well for us is tapping into the speaker sheets. Whenever you have a speaker coming into a session, we follow up directly right after with key pieces of posts. It would be text and the video of something cool that they said, and we'll send them right after the event when it's still fresh in their mind. We'll say, hey, these are some good things that you said. If you want to post them, and it takes away the effort for them to figure out what to post and how to post it. They just have stuff ready to do it. So an example of this is we invited the CMO of KPMG on our session. She's obviously a very busy person. She gave us 15 minutes. And right after, I sent 5 clips to her saying, hey, Lauren, these are 5 cool things we discussed about. Feel free to post them on LinkedIn. And she ended up posting 2 of them. That gave us 3 very, very large enterprise leads that converted into customers for us. And this is what we see across the board in our own go-to-market motion. We ask every customer, how did they hear about us? And number one is always either through our events or through someone posting about us on LinkedIn, which is generally one of our speakers. So I talked about a lot, but over the last few minutes, I discussed why you should invest in video, why live digital event strategy is key to create that constant drumbeat of engagement, and how you couple it with a content engine to make it really work and get bang for your bucks. I'll close with some very key takeaways. If you have to remember a few tactics from this session, big fan of tactics. Number one is use keywords from your Gong recordings or product reviews to figure out what your subtopic would be, because that really makes a difference. The title of your session makes or breaks the session. The second big piece of tactic is always get great speakers. That's worth the effort. That is what drives interest in events. And always follow up with a calendar invite. Whenever anyone registers, always follow up with a calendar invite. That will bump up your attendance by at least 30-40% because people forget up after registering. And then always intersperse a lot of engagement when you do these sessions, because that is what makes them so much more effective than, say, a podcast. And the final piece is how do you drive an impactful content strategy? Definitely use AI to amplify your content to get that engaging content at the speed of social that is needed in today's world. Use your speakers to leverage their reach, give them ready to post content that they can go out with, and then use the data that you generate from all of this to really increase your pipeline by personalizing your outreach and knowing more about your customers. Okay, awesome. Thanks a lot, and let me know if there are any questions.